Hey, Mommy. Welcome to the Mami Collective podcast. I'm Paulina Rowe, and this is your space, the No BS All Vibes podcast for ambitious moms who know that motherhood and big dreams go hand in hand. Whether you're killing it in the boardroom, hustling on your side gig, or just trying to get through the day without reheating your coffee for the third time, and yes, girl, we've all been there, this is the place for you. We're here to flip the script on the whole you can't have it all narrative, because spoiler alert, you can. Motherhood doesn't dim your ambition, it actually fuels it. And we're going to talk all about it, the wins, the struggles, and the moments that make you say, damn, I am really doing this. So buckle up, boo. We're diving into real talk, inspiration, and the occasional hot take to keep you fired up and thriving. This is the Mami Collective. Let's do this. I am here, Mami Collective, and my guest today, I'm so excited. Erika Cramer, Erika from America, the Queen of Confidence is here. How are you?
I am so happy to be here. I can't wait to see you in Chicago, girl.
I can't wait. Because you're from, are you a New Yorker or from Jersey, technically? Like, where are you born and raised?
Boston, girl.
Stop it right now. Okay, so I'm trying to go there this fall because I want to go to Boston, and then I'm annoying. I want to go to Salem and do the whole witch thing.
Salem. Girl, we're going to Salem. My husband couldn't go last year and he lost it. He was like, we need to go to Salem. So we are going to Salem. Go to Salem.
When? Oh my God.
We're going to go when we go in June, right before Chicago, maybe after Chicago. Let's go to Salem.
I'm going to go to Salem. Like, that's on my list this year. So my list is truly Salem, New York. I'm going to New York for my mother-in-law's birthday, and then Puerto Rico for the first time. And I know you're Puerto Rican, right?
Excuse me. We're going to follow the same thing. Que bonito. Hell yeah.
I thought of you. I was like, wow. Literally, I'm on tour. I'm Erika. I'm on tour. I love it.
Oh, how good.
So exciting. So currently, I definitely want to dive into your story. I kind of know your story, but obviously I want you to kind of take the floor, take the mic and share it with everybody listening. But you're currently in Australia for the last, I don't even know, 15 years?
16 years, girl.
Wow. Oh my God. So, okay. First things first, Boston girl, obviously from here. Do you guys call us the States, or what do you guys call us over there?
Yeah, from the States, from the U.S.
The U.S. Yeah. I love it. So how did we end up in Australia, and how did we end up as the Queen of Confidence? Like, I need to know how this path happened.
Oh my God. Okay, girl. Everybody buckle up. You ready? Get your popcorn. Hot mess express, least confident person you could imagine, least magnetic person you could imagine. I grew up in Boston to a single mom. My mom was a single mother. So if you're a single mother, I love you. Shout out to you. You can build great things with your kids. My dad left when I was 2, and she has bipolar. So my mom is mentally ill and just she would se enfermaba. She would get sick. She would stop her medication. She would beat my ass. The neighbors would call the police, and they would arrest her and take me to a home. So from 2 years old until I was 16, I grew up in foster care. And that was a mess. Foster care is full on. It's a full on system. And there was sexual abuse, and there was physical abuse and molestation and all that jazz. And
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was a disaster. So I just was a kid. You know how kids are. Some kids have difficulty and then they go inward, and some kids go outward. And I was definitely a Latina kid fighting, yelling and screaming and kicking my way through my adolescence and my teens. And so I got in a lot of trouble. I sucked at school, Paulina. Like, I was the worst at school and barely graduated from high school. I don't even know how that happened. But in school, I met my high school sweetheart, Giovanni. He's a beautiful Salvadorian man that I met, and he was like my bestie. And we decided we wanted to live in Cali. He was from California. I was like, I'm going to be an actress. I'm going to be like J-Lo. And we were like, let's get out of here. So the military came to school. In the cafeterias, how the army comes to the school.
Oh, yeah.
Australia doesn't have a cafeteria, which is so weird. Anyway, you have to pack your kids' lunches. It's so annoying.
Interesting.
I'm like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's wild. Like, they're having us work over here. So they came to the cafeteria, and I was like, I'm going to go to the army. Like, I'm going to join the army. They're going to pay for my school. And I joined the military. So I graduated from high school. Gio went to the Marine Corps. I joined the army, and my boot camp, like my high school trip was boot camp. And 9/11 happened halfway through boot camp. So I'm in boot camp, and the towers get hit, and they're like, you're all going to war. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, it was just crazy.
Whoa.
Aaliyah died. Like, that was when all that shit happened, right? And so Gio, Gio became Marine Corps, and they were like, you have to go. And before he left, he's like, let's get married because they're not going to tell you if something bad happens to me. So nobody knew. We secretly got married. I moved to California and lived in an army base and was like a military wife for 2 years while he was in Iraq. And when he came back, I felt really guilty that he didn't get to live his life. And so, as we do, women, we're like, what do you want? All about you. And we went to Florida. So we had moved from Boston to California. Now we're in Florida doing the whole triangle. And he was in school and I was full-time in the army. We went out one night drinking and driving, as you do, stupid, very dumb, 23 years old. And we were going 150 miles per hour.
Oh my
And
God.
we fell asleep, like the max that the car could go. We fell asleep and crashed into a ditch. We hit a van, hit a store, and I flew out of the car because I didn't have a seatbelt on and broke my back. And it was like, I thought that was my wake-up call, Pauline. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Like, what am I doing in the military? I couldn't walk for 4 weeks. I had to learn how to walk again. I was in the hospital. I got metal and shit, a bionic woman.
Right.
Disaster. And so then I was like, what am I doing? I need to like fix my life. What happened to my performing and my acting and all the things? And so I'm in the army 9 to 5, Monday to Friday in my costume, in my little like, camis. And then at night I started going to hair school, the Paul Mitchell school, to become a hairdresser. And on the weekends I'm doing like music video, freaking Smooth Magazine, Pitbull, like reggaeton, shaking my ass. So I was definitely living the Gemini life, sister, all 3 lives.
Facts, yes. That's very
You know,
Gemini.
'cause you're a Gemini. And I was like, okay, this is my fresh start. And then unfortunately the following year we had a party, Cinco de Mayo. We had a big fight, like Mayweather and Oscar de la Hoya or whatever, had a fight at our house. I went to sleep because I had my military weekend. And when I woke up, my husband wasn't there. I'm like, what the hell happened? Where is he? But I had to go. I was late for the army. Long story short, I couldn't find him. It was like 11:45 and it's raining. And I'm like, where's my husband? And my military sergeant was like, you could go. And so we looked for him. The hospital called. I went to the hospital and they basically told me the news. They were like, he didn't make it. And I was like, what? Like they were just like, Giovanni Lopez, your husband, and we're so sorry. We did everything we could. Now, honestly, I had no idea. That wasn't even crossed my mind that que algo le hubiera pasado like that. I was like, so I don't know. I just had my moment of like insanity and I was done. Like after all that trauma, sexual abuse, my dad kidnapped me, went to the military, all this terrible shit growing up. And then to have my husband die, and nobody had ever died in my life. And I just kind of was like, I'm done. Like for 3 to 5 years, I numbed out of my life. I went to a hair conference in Vegas where I met this Australian guy. I did not know where Australia was. I thought it was Austria, to be honest. Like we're going to Europe. Girl, Australia is not Austria. It is very far away. It's like 15 hours to get to LA from Australia. It's so far. But I kind of felt like I need to get the hell out of here. I don't know if anybody listening has ever felt like I'm going to restart my life. I'm going to move or I'm going to quit my job. And then you think your shit doesn't follow you across the Pacific Ocean, but it did. I was like, oh no. And so I came to Australia. He was an asshole, not a nice guy at all. I met another guy in another part of Australia who was just like him, but different face. And then finally I got dumped on my birthday. And my personal trainer, who was my only friend in Melbourne, Australia, was like, hey, I know this lady if you want to work on yourself. And I was like, okay, I need to do this. Like it's you against you, Erika. You can't blame your mom. You can't blame the system. You're the common denominator. And it just really led me to taking responsibility for my life and looking at myself in the mirror and healing. And I spent 8 years, 2 credit cards maxed out, money I did not have, to go into debt so that I could heal and do my work. And after 8 years, I was like, I want to do this. It was my son, actually. I had a home birth. My first birth was horrific. Cesarean, emergency, dramatic. Then I had a miscarriage, and then I had a home birth, which was like a meditation. It was amazing. And when my son came out, I feel like I birthed this other version of me. And I was like, holy shit. And I started my business. We had no money. We launched everything. And then that first year we did this. And so that's kind of how the Queen of Confidence was built. And I didn't want to be her. I was like, she's my alter ego. Like, she's who I want to be. And my husband said, you better own it. Like, people want a leader in this space. You can be a leader. You can support women. Look at your story. Look at what you've done. Like, you can be that for the people. And so I had to kind of step into it, even though I didn't want to call myself the queen of whatever. And now I'm like, she's my alter ego. She wears pink hats and crazy nails. And I try to be her as much as I can. And I think we're all queens. And yeah, it's led me to this work.
God, your story is truly something. And first and foremost, I just want to say, like, thank you for sharing that, because I mean, it's not easy to. I understand, like, this isn't your first time sharing it necessarily, but I think it doesn't make it hurt less, right? Or it doesn't make it, like any less of a story. It's your story. And I think a lot of people resonate with it, even at certain points. So again, thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I love you.
And
thank you.
honestly, like, not only are you such a badass, but I love how you not only were able to turn your life around, but you decided to walk into this path, right? Into this new calling of helping people, you know. How old is the Queen of Confidence now, would you say?
Oh,
Like
2019. So like
2019?
7 years.
So that's 7 years of helping other women sort of like find their path, right? Find their confidence or their she-go, whatever that might be. Which you and I got to talk about mine, because I know there's one here. I don't know where she is, who she is, but she's that girl. She's somewhere.
Let's get her out.
I know. I love it. Okay, so first and foremost, you know, being a mom, right? When I've heard you on another podcast that I listened to, you straight up said, like, you're like, I built my business with my kid, like, on my boob. Like, I'm feeding my baby.
Oh,
I'm doing this. I'm taking calls. You know what I mean? First and foremost, how does one do that? That is so difficult. I don't think people give moms enough credit, truly.
I know. Oh my God. That is a job. Stay-at-home mother is a job that doesn't pay us any money, and it's hard work.
Facts.
It is the hardest job, because mentally, you know, like, they drive you crazy. I love my kids, but damn, give me a second. Ask me for the freaking strawberries to cut you up, and then you mommy, and you're like, oh God, eyes twitching, and you're tired. And so I think, like, I said to my husband, who's Australian, he's Sri Lankan, but they're Australian, and I said to him, I got this like shower wisdom, you know, when your kids are not in the shower and you're alone and you get all the ideas. And
that's
I was
my
like,
place.
Yes,
stop
girl.
it.
Shower wisdom is a thing, and it is amazing, and it is beautiful, and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm there, and I'm in the shower, and I'm like, oh my God, I was working for L'Oreal. I was a contractor. So I wasn't on maternity leave. In Australia, we have very good maternity leave. Yeah, I remember America, we don't get nothing. Over here, I got a team member right now, Nina. Shout out to Nina. She's off. Like, she's off getting paid 18 weeks or 22 weeks. Like, the government is paying us to pay her. Like, it's amazing. Congrats. And her man gets to be with her for like 3 weeks. So we don't have that, right? But as a contractor, you don't get that shit. So I was like, oh, I don't have maternity leave. Okay. So I'm sitting at home, not making my 80K a year that I was making. And it was the worst time. We were looking for coins to buy bread. Hamish, my husband's gym, was not doing well because it was around the Christmas, November time. People were out drinking and partying, not trying to worry about getting fit. And so I was like, what are we going to do? And I was in the shower, and I just heard, like, you got to launch this business. And it was the worst time. Let me just say, the worst time. Sometimes the worst time is the best time. And I said to my husband, don't worry, babe, I'm American. And he just looked at me, and I was like, yo, I got the grit. Like, we American, like, American people, we know, like, we've struggled. We have so much competition in the United States. There are so many humans, women in the United States. I take my hat off to you, because we don't mess around. And so I had to really tap into my old hood, my foster care, my food stamps, like my welfare shit. Like, I had to be like, hold on a minute, remember who you are. And I got a bit comfortable in this country, because shit was, when circumstances are good, you get comfy. And if you're comfy, you ain't moving. No te vas a mover. Like, you need shit to happen. And so I said to my husband, I've got this. I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was just slapping me across the face on all the YouTubes. And he's like, stop fucking around. No one's coming to say, hey, Paulina, I heard you're amazing. You have a great story. Like, you have to show up. And so I was like, okay, what can I do? And all I could do was show up on Instagram, show up on YouTube, start a podcast on freaking Anchor from my phone. I had my kid. I had a toddler who was a pain in the ass because he's running around throwing shit because he's 2 years old. Then I have a newborn baby, and my husband was gone from 5 a.m. because he had a gym. He would leave, and he wouldn't come back till 9 p.m. So I was like, I'm going crazy. And I had to think about, I had a coach at the time, and in all transparency, we were doing a contra. So I was doing her hair color, and she was coaching me because I didn't have the money to pay for her. So get creative, ladies, okay? So she was coaching me, and she was like, Erika, why don't you call L'Oreal and make a job for yourself? Like, create a role. I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, tell them something, because I was doing sales. Like, I was looking after these nice salons with Kerastase. And she was like, make a job. And I was like, okay. So I created a role where I was working from home, calling the salons that the salesperson was on holiday or on leave, If the salesperson went away, we didn't want this bougie ass salon to call the 1-800 number. So I would call them. But girl, yo tengo la teta por fuera. My kid's running around. I've got this block ass laptop and I'm trying to build a coaching business while I'm slanging shampoo and conditioner. Okay. For $36 an hour though. So I was like, hell yeah, $36 an hour can help us. And so I had that job whilst listening to Gary and trying to create content. And I just didn't care. And sometimes when you don't care and you don't know any better, it's the best because you have nothing to lose. Now I have so much to lose. But back then it was like, what are you going to do? And so it sucked. I was exhausted, but I had this fire in my belly. And I had someone like Gary slapping me and saying, stop waiting. Nobody's coming to save you. No one gives a shit about who you are. You have to tell the world who you are. You have to make the time, create the time when the kids are sleeping or whatever you got to do. And after 11 months, we made like 6 figures in the business. And the next year we did $500,000. And I'm like, this ghetto chick from the hood, $500,000. What? Like, so I'm just saying, if I could do it, you could do it. You know,
that's incredible. And I feel like you're Gary V in that story, like right now is you to me, because one thing, no, I'm serious. One thing that I'm so bad at is like just showing up online sometimes. Like I'm getting better.
Yes.
I'm right now, I'm really just applying the, like, I don't care. It's have you heard of the Mel Robbins, like, let them thing? I'm kind of on that kick too, where I'm kind of just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to just do me.
Yeah.
I'm going to just do me.
Yes, you have to, because like the thing is, I have to be honest, Paulina, I wish I could say that I listened to all the podcasts and I listened to the advice and I finally stood up and I did it. I didn't. We were screwed. Yeah. We were pushed against the wall financially. We had bought a car, like a Tiguan, a Volkswagen, because we had a second baby. That's what you do. So we bought the Volkswagen. I'm renting this house. I bought all this furniture for the house that I'm renting. Like I did marginalized poor woman shit. Like nobody taught me how to deal with money. So whatever money we had, we wasted it. And so what happened? Now we're screwed. We have 2 kids. I'm not working. My husband's gym's not doing good. What do we do? And so I really feel like I had to be pushed against the wall. I had to hit rock bottom in order to show what I could do. And sometimes if we don't have to, we won't. We won't. And I didn't do it for my kids. I don't do shit for my kids. I do nothing for my children. I don't like saying that. Like I'm not doing it for them. They're mine and they're coming through me, but I'm a guardian. They're going to go off and do their life. And I'm doing my job and I'm going to release them back into the wild and be like, I poured everything I could into you. You're not mine. You don't have to do anything for me. And so I'm not doing anything for my kids. Like I'm doing this shit because I'm supposed to do this. Like this is why I survived my trauma, to be here to do this work. And when you have a purpose and a fire that's beyond your kids or your culture or society, then that shit wakes you up. It gets you up out of bed and makes you want to show up and do the things. It's not easy, but the relentless pursuit of your vision and what you want to do, I think that's the thing that gave me the fire, you know, and then seeing a few women be like, I like your podcast. And I'd be like, okay, you're listening to my shitty podcast with terrible audio. I had Apple headphones, my hoops and my e-tag was beeping because we didn't have any money. So it'd be like, and like in the podcast, you could hear that shit. And my audio was terrible. I didn't care. I was like, yo, I got shit to say to women. And then it was like number 6 in mental health in Australia in the charts. And some lady was like, your audio sucks, but you're doing really well. How is this happening? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe sometimes people want some real shit. And so you just don't know how people will receive you. If you don't know who needs to see you show up, like some lady's out there struggling and she sees you and she's like, I'm going to live another day. Let's go, you know? So yeah.
I mean, truthfully, like you made it happen. And I think that's such an important message in this too, right? Because a lot of times, and we'll get into this in a second, with moms and motherhood, I think you're hit with a lot of different, like you said, you're up against the wall in different situations, right? Oh, yeah. Whether, let's just say, for example, you know, things are not working out with your significant other. Okay, there's trial and tribulations right there, right? You're being tested. Let's just say, you know, God forbid, you know, like, let's just say like your child is hospitalized for whatever reason, you know what I mean? Another situation, right, that obviously is taking a toll on you mentally, financially, spiritually, everything. Let's just say you don't have a village or whatever. There's certain things in motherhood, or like you said, like let's just say a mom left her job and she becomes a stay-at-home mom now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like things change in motherhood. And I want to repeat what you said before we started recording, but there was a saying that you said about, you know, I said motherhood changes you, right? Or your identity, you lose your identity. But what did you say that was so good?
Yeah. You find a new version of yourself. Because we were talking before, it's like you lose yourself in motherhood, and you were like, I hate that. I hate when they say that you lose yourself. And it's like you find another version. Like I literally believe that every birth you have, you birth another version of you. You peel the snake skin. It comes off as the kid comes out. Well, however the kid comes out, here comes another version of you. You birth you as well. So that kid is coming through you, and they have their own journey, and they're coming the way they want to come. But don't get it twisted. We as mothers initiate into a whole other step. And so now it's like, whoa, like the shit that we can do is incredible. The opportunities that we can create, the things we can say no to. Like I say no to the Latina hustle. I say no to that. I say no to being a martyr. I say no to doing it because that's what we always do. I say no to going to Christmas with motherfuckers I don't want to be with. I will absolutely not do Christmas con familia que se vayan pa'l carajo. I'm not doing that. It's my Christmas. Hell no. Like, no, you should. I don't should nothing. Like, I'm so happy I grew up with the wild wolves in the foster care, because family for me is like my sisters of my family, like my friends on Instagram that have become family. They're the family. Like my family, I get to choose, and you could choose as well. We've just been ingrained and conditioned to think that motherhood equals like martyrdom. Motherhood equals you give up your life and soul for the child. You do everything for the child, and you get no support, and you feed your husband, and that you clean the house. The house has to be clean. I tell my husband all the time, I didn't come here to clean the house. I did not come here to take out the trash. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, I'm going to make money to outsource because I don't want to be thinking about that. Like, yes, I could be a dirty bitch. That's fine. I don't care. Somebody could say that about me. No me importa. Like, I'm here to do other things, and that's not it. And then we were talking before too. It's like, if you are going to shift in motherhood, and instead of fighting that shift, it's like, what if the person you become on the other side is a better version? It will be, by the way, no matter how you mother, you will be a better version on the other side. You're going to be more compassionate. Your heart gets bigger. You get more savvy, you know, all the vigilance, right? Those of us that have had any kind of trauma, like my life is weird. I know that the story is crazy, but even if your parents divorced, or you got hit as a kid, or you got bullied, that's all trauma. Like COVID, that's all trauma.
100%.
So like whatever you went through, like don't underestimate the resilience that you have. And when you have kids, you become even more vigilant, and your heart opens even more. So you have a capacity as a mother that so many people don't have, and it's a superpower. And so, yeah, you're exhausted in I think the first 18 months is very difficult, because we don't have, like you said, we don't have the village. We don't have the ancestors around us. We don't have the wisdom of the older women. We have internet, we have AI, we have, you know, electronical things putting our kids to bed, which fine, do you, boo, whatever. But we don't have that like old wisdom that we used to have. And so I think being able to understand where you are in your journey of motherhood and be nice to yourself, like mother yourself through that journey, you know?
I love that. Mother yourself through that journey, because you're right. Like you kind of have to. I have to truly remind myself to eat. Like that's some mom shit, to be like, hey girl, make sure you're showering and eating today.
Yes. Did you wash your booty today? Did you brush your teeth today? Let me tell you that the little carrier was my friend. And maybe because I was a hairdresser, I was like, I am not about to look ragged. I did look ragged. Okay. My old YouTube videos, you could see I look really hefty and not great in the face. But I did get to a point where I was like, all right, I can put the baby on and I could be bothered to curl my hair. Like, why would you curl your hair? Because I want to feel good. Like, I look like shit and I feel like shit. And so a little bit of self-care. Like I would burn, say, incense in the morning, right? Like that shit was not a ritual. I was like, shut up with your rituals, Tim Ferriss. Anybody got rituals? My ritual is cambiando diapers, breastfeeding, cutting up bananas, fucking toast, watching Bluey. That's my ritual, right? Like I'm not meditating for 2 hours. And it's funny because not a lot of moms talk about rituals because we don't have them in the morning. Our rituals are looking after these damn kids, right? But what are the little things you could do? Could you burn some incense? Could you just go outside for a second? Like what can you do could you do your makeup? And I know it's very vanity, but I'm going to tell you, when you look good for yourself, even if you're in pajamas, you feel better. It makes you be better. And then you're a better person for the day, for yourself and for your kids. And so I was just finding whatever I could do to try to feel better, you know, in the midst of struggle and hustle, a lot of hustle. I don't recommend it either. If you don't have to hustle, don't, because that shit is bad for your nervous system.
Honestly, my shit is so, what is it? Irregulated,
Yeah.
dysregulated, whatever.
Oh,
It's not
fried.
regular.
Yeah. No, it is fried. I'm sure that I said to my husband the other day, I think my nervous system has not recovered from my childhood because it was so hectic. And it is. And who teaches
Mm.
us that? Like now the internet is great. Like we could go on Instagram and learn how to become a conscious parent and not slap your kid with a chancleta. Like that's great.
Honestly, like it is wild to me, like even just parenting in 2025, because I'm just like anything I need, girl, I go to TikTok and I'll
Are
just
you kidding
Google
me?
or
It's
like type it
amazing.
in. Yeah.
ChatGPT is the best. Like, tell me, I want like I said to my kids, we have a doctor, robot doctor, because like my kid's tummy was hurting, and estos doctores, they don't know. They're telling you bullshit. Like, take some Tylenol, and you're like, this
Right.
is not good. So like, it's hilarious because I promise you, my traumatic past, I got beat. I literally got beat, and I got punished. And
Mm,
so with my first kid, I was yelling and screaming, and I wanted to slap him. And my husband's like, "Whoa, we're not doing that." He had a beautiful home. He did get beat by his dad, but he had a mom and a dad
mm,
that stayed together, and they were a little bit more regulated than my crazy ass upbringing. And so interesting when one parent has more conscious parenting to them and the other parent doesn't. And I was the parent that didn't. And so I had to try really hard to not repeat the traumatic patterns and the generational trauma that my family gave to me that we continue to give. If we do not become aware, conscious, if we don't do the work on ourselves,
yeah.
you're going to pass that shit down. And you don't want to, but you will.
You don't want to, but you absolutely will. And I think a lot of I don't know, like you pretty much did say though, from your experience, like I can sense that it probably did come generationally. And I think in a way, Erica, I feel like you sort of you cut that shit out. You
Yeah.
broke the generational curse. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yes.
I'm no expert, but it sounds like it you might have, and I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, it's hard to do, right? Like you have to be like,
Yeah.
damn. And we talk a lot about boundaries. And my mother, I love her to death, but she is toxic and she is hard for me to be around. And she is not someone who is like the mother that you want. It's the mother I got and it's the mother I needed, but she wasn't the mother that I would have chosen in the brochure. You know what I'm saying? So um
Yeah.
you have to be mindful. I think boundaries is something that as a Latina we don't have. As a person of color, we don't have like my husband's family doesn't have boundaries. They're like Sri Lankan. They're like, no, we don't have boundaries. And I think now the internet is allowing us to do things differently and being like, actually, we can have boundaries and we can be gluten free and we can still have some sasong. But girl, like we don't need to be eating that shit and we don't need to be treating our kids that way. And we don't need to work in a job we hate 9 to 5 and go to college and do all the bullshit. And so I think it's a really exciting time for us to reframe what motherhood looks like for us, reframe what family looks like. And I'm very boundaried. Like my boundaries are so solid and it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Of course it hurts. And of course it makes me sad.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sacrifice my joy, my fulfillment, my kids' safety, what my kids are learning because I want my mother or my auntie or my sister or my mother-in-law to be happy and think I'm great. Like we could let that shit go in 2025.
I could not agree more. I want to dive in sort of to, moms that are listening. And I don't know what you call it on your end. I've always kind of called it a spark, right? Like I call it sparkle because I want to be so cute.
Yeah.
But when moms or whoever, right, someone loses their sparkle. And
Yeah.
I want to obviously speak to moms in the situation because, not only are you a mother yourself, but you're quite literally the queen of confidence. And if a mom is looking to get her confidence back, her sparkle back, whatever it might be, whether she is in, going through the postpartum phase, right? Maybe there's sleepless nights, colic
Yeah.
baby. I mean, we're talking like, fucking
Yeah.
like shit is tough.
Grit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe, and this applies to me, I know my body doesn't look the same. I'm not dissatisfied with it, but I know I need to get my ass in that gym. I'm very aware.
Yeah.
But I'm not feeling the best. I'm not feeling like the confident girl, prior to baby.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to sort of just dive into that and, any tips that you can share of how moms can like connect with themselves again, rebuild that confidence. Like, what would you say to them?
Yeah. So I have a whole series on my podcast about motherhood because I just knew like nobody was talking about how hard it was. Nobody was talking about how they hate it sometimes. Sometimes I hated my 2-year-old. I was like, you're an asshole. And I don't like him. I was like, no me gusta este nene. Like, what is this? And alcohol and motherhood. Nobody talked about that. And the amount of women, Paulina, that messaged me after my alcohol and motherhood, like numbing out of motherhood with alcohol podcast. Holy shit. It was a big eye opener for the way that we're struggling as moms. So I think for me, my journey was, I couldn't, and I don't wish this on any mom, I couldn't really be with my second child in the newborn phase because I had him attached to me. I was feeding him, but I was on the hustle mode because financially we were screwed. So I want to say, if you're someone that doesn't feel like you're attaching and you're doing all the beautiful conscious parenting stuff, financially you can't, don't worry. You're still going to be a beautiful mom and have an amazing connection. What I had to do in that time, I found something outside of me besides my kids. So whether that's a hobby, whether that's social media, you build a community, whether that's you become in charge of creating a mother's group because the ones in your community are shit, whether that's you build a Facebook group, whatever it is, I needed to be community building and be around people. And I think no matter what phase of motherhood you're in, especially if you're in the young motherhood time, you need people, baby. We're not designed to do this. Back in the day, the tribe days, a mother would only have her child 7 to 8 hours. The child would be with other people. So there would be 17 other adults in the tribe that would take that kid. We would have 8 hours with our kid. And that's so good for the kid because the kid's learning from this tío, from that cousin, from that person, from that village person. And now we have our kid 24/7. We have bills. We have everything that we have to do. And so if you can get around community, I would say number one. Number two, I don't care how you feel. Like, fuck your mood. You have got to take care of your visual look. Now, you could be overweight because we all are overweight when we have a baby, but do your face. Brush your teeth, for goodness sake. I don't care if your baby's in a little bouncer next to you. Lávate los dientes. You know, get your routine happening with whatever you can do. Put some lotion on your face. If you can let your hair air dry and, you know, put some lipstick on. I know it's silly, but as a stylist and a hairdresser, I will tell you that there is external confidence and that matters. And then there's the internal confidence. And we're going to get to that. But externally, do what you need to do. If your jeans don't fit, stop berating yourself. Go buy jeans that fit. Who gives a shit? They don't fit. Who cares what the size is? Stop looking at the size. Try the fit. Do they fit? Cool. Wear them. Get dressed. Like, feel better about yourself. And if you're on a budget, go to the op shop, girl. That shit is cool now, right? When I was growing up, it was not cool, but now it's cool. So get your ass to the vintage, ponte lo que sea, find something nice, and maybe it'd be good for you to get out of the house with the baby on a carrier or in your little pram or whatever. What are they called? Strollers? We call them prams over here. Look at me. I'm Australian as hell, girl.
Wow.
Anyway, I know, like the little pram. So, you know, get out. So physically, look nice. Secondary, or firstly, get a community, get around people, mother's group, whatever it is. And I know women are like, oh, the mother's group sucks. Well, contribute. If you don't like the energy in the space, take responsibility for the energy you bring. Can you shift the energy? Can you say something? Can you say, hey guys, I don't like talking about this. What about that? Change mother groups, like find a community, look at yourself nicely, try to look nice for yourself. And then the third thing is internal confidence, right? Mm-hmm. So in motherhood, whether you are attached to your baby or your baby's boobs or whatever, or you have a toddler running around, what we can do is audiobook, podcast, listen to good shit. I think we need to be mindful what we allow into our minds and into our energy and into our space as mothers. So we are choosing to watch reality TV, which is horrific for us. Like, that shit is bad for you. I know it feels good to watch the Kardashians and whatever, but it's not good for us. It's not good for our nervous system. It's not good for our brains. It makes your brain mush. There are podcasts that are free. You put a little earplug in and you could be vacuuming and you could be listening to Bluey and listening to your shit. You could be listening to Gary Vee or me or Paulina and listening to the kids' stuff. So I think it really matters what you pour into yourself during that time. And I know for me, I could not deal if I didn't listen to Gary Vee, Tony Robbins. If I wasn't doing online stuff, I would get audiobooks because I never finished a book. Anybody else like just don't finish books? And I'm like, I will finish the audiobook. Yeah. You know, and so I think supporting you, one of the books that helped me the most in my early motherhood journey was Byron Katie, Loving What Is. And I listened to the audiobook and she just helped me with my thoughts and the way that I was thinking. And I was like, oh my God, this is wild. And I was just feel like I was on a journey of self-exploration while I was mothering this newborn. And it's very important. Like, if you can't afford a coach or a therapist, if you can afford a coach or therapist, get a fucking coach and therapist. Get both. Like, if you can afford it. But if you can't, listen to good shit. Because if you don't have community, if you look like shit and you're allowing yourself to just be like sloppy and not feel good, and you're not putting good stuff into your mind, into your ear, into your head, that's like you're going to lose, right? Like we have to think about how can we feel better? We have to get around good people. We have to listen to good stuff, and we have to take care of ourselves. Whether that's a shower and God dries your hair, let it air dry, that's fine. Doesn't matter. You don't have to go get a blow wave. But these are the physical and internal things that I feel like will really help us so that we can actually start coming back to who we want to be and rediscover you're a new you. You're initiating your birthing. Who is this 2.0 Paulina? Who is this 5.0 Paulina? Who is this version of you? And play with that because you get to create that for yourself. And when I did that, I started to get into fashion. I had some friends who were a bit out there with fashion. I was like, that's a bit crazy. But I started getting, when somebody's a bit crazy, you give yourself permission to do a little crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to do a little crazy. And I started being a little bit more fun with my fashion. And she was a mom. And I was like, look at her. She's hooked up. So follow people that are fun with their fashion or fun with their makeup. Find women that do it. There's always like, I can't do it because, well, what can you do? Don't say what you can't do. What can you do with your situation? And are there other people doing it? Yes. So look for evidence of other people that are doing it with a similar situation so you can have some positive to look to as opposed to, I can't do it. This sucks. Poor me. We get into victim shit and then we're screwed.
100%. Oh, it's so easy to fall into it. I'm not saying that we should, but I know it's just so damn easy.
Of course.
But no, I think you nailed it. And I hope that everybody listening is taking notes. I feel like you just dropped so many gems that for the free that I think a lot of moms or just women listening who might, need that sparkle back in their life. I think that's something they can do. And the fact that it can be as simple as dressing up, as simple as hair, teeth,
Totally.
like, right? Do this. Like for me, it's getting my nails done. I have them done because we had a photo shoot yesterday at work. But I'm the baddest bitch right now because I have nails.
It makes you, and this is the stuff that men don't get, like, oh, that's so silly. My love, if anybody told you it's silly, it is not silly. It is there's a thing in the book, when I talk about it in the Becoming Magnetic book, it's called enclothed cognition. It is a psychological thought process, literal thing psychologically, that when you dress a certain way, like my alter ego wears hats and nails and pink. That's the queen of confidence. When I get on stage, Paulina, she comes out. She steps her and she wears sequins, literally like sparkles. Like she is in sequins head to toe. It's way too much. It's ridiculous. And I can't not feel powerful. And enclothed cognition doesn't only change the way that you see yourself, it changes the way others perceive you. And it changes your performance and your abilities. So it's a thing. It's actually a thing. And so Sasha Fierce, Beyonce, hello. When she's Sasha Fierce, she's like, I can do things I can't do. Like, this is a thing. Lady Gaga, she wears heels. Porque ella chiquita, she's really small. So, like, there are alter egos out there. Serena Williams has socks. Certain socks that Serena Williams wears that make her feel like a bad bitch when she's on that court, and they're doing it. So how can we create an alter ego, the future version of you? How does she dress? What does she look like? What does she think? What does she believe about herself? How does she walk into the room? Like, she makes the time, and we don't have time. I get it. I'm a mother of two. I understand. But we make the time. And if you have time to doom scroll, then wrap that baby on your damn body, get that heating curling iron, spray your hair with heat protection, of course, and then do them little waves, girl, and listen to some good shit on the radio or on your headphones. We have the time. We just have to prioritize what's going to help us feel better. Just like food. Is that donut going to make you feel good? Like, maybe you can't go to the gym, but we can eat differently. And nobody taught us how to eat. We emotionally eat because that's what we know. And so it's like, fuck, if I eat that, it's going to make me feel like shit and it's not going to help me. And I'm going to feel lethargic and depressed and tired. Okay, so let's make better choices. So it's just like, with what you have, do what you can. Like, do what you can with what you got.
I 100% agree. And I love it. And your circumstances will change. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure with kids, because your children are a little bit older too, right? So like, I feel like I'm sure every stage was like a new level unlocked of what's easier, what's more difficult.
Yep. And I have to say, for me, my husband and I always talk about this, like, we hated the newborn phase. Like, we hated it. We were like, we hate this, but this phase, it's so fun. Like, my little one is 7 and my older one is 9, and they be chatting and they be talking and they are so confident. It's annoying. Like, I'm like, what did we do? What did we do? But like, it's so fun. We're talking, we're sharing. I really also didn't love 2. As I said, I hated my son at 2. I was like, you're a jerk. And obviously he's not a jerk and he wasn't doing it on purpose, but I didn't have I didn't have the knowledge, I didn't have the experience, I didn't have the education or information to be able to deal with his tantrums. It was all my shit. He was being a normal kid. I was not being good as a parent. And so these conscious parents, when you go take your kid and you're like, something's wrong with my kid, fix him. You know who they fix? You. They're like, it's not your kid, it's you. And no, you don't understand. My son talks back. No, it's you. Why are you triggered by that? How do you respond? Why is he closed off to you? Like when I got that, Paulina, I was like, oh, it's all me? Fuck, okay. Okay,
No.
great.
No. I mean, no, that's so real though. I never even like thought about that or thought of it in that
triggering.
way.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to dive into raising children that, I mean, are confident, right? Like
Yeah.
my thing is like, I feel like, and I'm sure you can relate to this as well. A lot of our listeners can too. Maybe it was that era. Maybe it was just our parents. I don't know. But I feel like I was never really raised. I was raised in an immigrant household. And I think that speaks for itself already, right?
Yes.
Like compared to like some of like, I will say like the American, right? The white American kids that I went to grammar school with or whatever. Very different household, very different mentality. I always say that we were raised with a hustle mentality. And I think that's why I am the way I am. But I don't think we were raised to be confident in the sense of not like, oh, look at me, I'm so pretty in my dress, which is its own thing. But I think I was not raised to confidently speak my thoughts, confidently walk in the path I'm supposed to go. Like I always had to question everything. And I still do.
Yeah.
It's not great, but you know what I mean?
It's real.
I want to know kind of like how you're navigating that with your children and what kind of advice would you give to moms and parents listening of, you know, would you tell your kid, be quiet, you know, don't like when you walk into a room, keep your head down, like blah, blah, blah. Don't brag too much, especially with little girls. How do you navigate that?
It's so tricky. And I just want to acknowledge what you said, because anybody that's listening, it is hard when you don't have that modeled. It is hard when you don't have the blueprint in your body. It's not in your body. You don't have the map. You don't have the GPS coordinates. Nobody plugged it into you, and they didn't get it plugged in either. So then how the hell do we go to a destination where we have no idea where it is or that it even exists? Because of the internet, we know that it exists, that kids can be confident, that we can heal, thankfully, right? So for me, I honestly, when I tell you it was selfish, and I'm so happy that it was selfish, I selfishly worked on myself for that long time. And I say it as a poor woman who grew up poor, who didn't have any money and had scarcity and bad money beliefs. I maxed out 2 credit cards in Australia. I didn't have a wedding. Hamish, my husband's ring that he bought in Sri Lanka when he was 11, that's my wedding ring. Like, that's my ring. And we didn't buy the Tiffany's ring. We didn't have a big ass wedding. I went on a retreat so I could cry and heal shit. That was our wedding. And I say that because we can't say, oh, no tengo el dinero, oh, I don't have the money, oh, and then do stupid shit like buy a nice car, and then do stupid shit like go on a holiday or get your titties done. Like all that stuff costs money. You're choosing, once again, even if you're poor, where you put your money. So number one, sacrifice. I did whatever I had to so that I could level up and heal my life and my story. I promise you, and I know this sounds harsh, you will not teach and give your children anything that you yourself have not learned and been able to claim for yourself. You can't.
Yes.
Energetically, it doesn't work. Physically, spiritually, mentally, you actually can't. How am I going to tell you about money when I have zero? We don't ask our broke ass friends about how to invest or what to do with we don't do that. We don't ask people without a business what I should do for my business. So it's the same thing. Who do you think you are to tell your kids to be confident when you know nothing about practicing confidence and building confidence? So unfortunately, it's a lesson for us as mothers that our kids will not listen to what we say. They will model who we're being. That's it. They're going to model you. So if you are someone who lacks confidence, they're going to see that. That's what they're going to learn. If you're someone who's apologetic and questions everything and second guesses herself, they will see it. You don't even have to tell them. They'll notice, when you fight with your partner and everybody goes to bed angry, like we don't do that. But I was in relationships where you would fight, you would go to bed angry, silent treatment for 3 days. I have friends that have children that are my children's age, and they think, oh, the kids don't know. Girl, your baby knows. Energetically, kids know everything. They can feel the tension. They're much more aware than we are, children, because they're still in the baby theta brain waves where everything's imagination. They pay attention to everything. So just because they're not talking doesn't mean they don't know that you're pissed off and that you're angry. So I really think that if we turn to ourselves and we go, have I healed my people pleasing? Have I overcome my scarcity issues? Do I feel truly confident? Do I have anxiety? And am I doing something about it? What's my relationship with the problem my kid's having? And if your relationship is not worked out, I would highly recommend, and I'm getting my degree in psychotherapy, so I'm going to say this like a therapist, do not focus on your child at all. Your child will be fine. Focus fully on you, mother. Fill your cup all the way up. And all the shit that pours off you, your kid will get that. They're going to get everything that's in you and everything that comes off you. So when women are like, you don't understand, my kid has no confidence, they're anxious. Don't take them to therapy. You go to therapy. Don't focus on helping them. Focus on helping you. The more you work on you, you will have the tools. You will have it in your DNA. You'll have the coordinates now. And now you can go, hey, baby, you see mommy? You see mommy on stage? You see mommy doing this? Like, you see it? And they're like, yeah. And then they model confidence. They're like, I'm going to do that. And I promise you, it sounds like, what is it called? What's that word called? Counterintuitive. Right? Okay. It sounds like, wait, what do you mean? Leave my kid with his anxiety? Don't worry about it. But if you don't know how to handle yours, how are you going to help him or her? You're not. So I have the tools now. I did 4 months ago or 5 months ago, I had a podcast around helping your kids with anxiety. My son was getting anxiety about homework. We don't care about homework. He knows we don't care. We never say to him, we want your grades to be good. We don't actually care. As long as he's respectful and kind and having fun, that's all we care about. We don't care if he gets an A or a B or a D or an F. It doesn't matter. But he somehow, in his imprint, he believes that that's important. We didn't tell him that. So remember, kids have their own little things, their own little quirks and their own journey their own karma. And so my son's worried about this. So I had to sit down with him, Paulina, and I had to teach him the Byron Katie shit. I told you that book. I had to teach him about how to inquire your thoughts, how to not believe everything you think. Girl, I sat with my son, who was 8 years old at the time. And I had to treat him like a 40-year-old woman that I coach. And I'm like, okay, how do I do this shit? So it was really good for me. But because I knew how to do it and I journal and I do this myself, I was like, oh, I can break this down into a child. And I'm telling you, for 2 weeks straight, he was journaling. He was writing thoughts. He was reframing his thoughts. And I'm not talking about stupid affirmations like, I love myself. Like, don't teach your kids that bullshit. Because if you don't really love yourself, you're asking your kid to say stuff they don't believe because you don't believe it. So I told him, what are the things you believe? I'm scared, but my parents got my back. I never lose, I learn. Cool, like things he believes. Man, he did that. And he said to me, Mommy, I did my thing. I'm confident. I feel good. Like his teacher's like, he's so confident. I'm like, yeah, good, cool. Doesn't mean they're not going to have problems, but I'm more equipped as a mother to help my child when I have my tools because I've helped myself. You can't help them if you haven't helped you. Like, you just can't.
Yeah. I mean, that's real. And I know. It does. I don't want to hear it, but I have to hear it.
I know. It sucks. It sucks, but it's good. Like, it's beautiful medicine to go, oh my God, I yell. Okay, my shit was yelling. I was always yelling and screaming. And still my little one's like, I don't like that. And I'm like, sorry, baby. I'm sorry that I raised my voice. I am a little bit passionate and I'm sorry. I'm like, I apologize for yelling at you. Mommy's trying to be a good mommy. And he'll be like, well, you didn't do a good job. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, fucking hell. Like my mom would have slapped me to next Tuesday. Like, your mom would have slapped you too. Like, girl, please. Like, we ain't allowed to say that. And so I'm letting him.
That would have been it.
Right? And he's strong-willed. El Chiquito, my little one, is me and he triggers me. And I'm like, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to control the situation. I want him to know that I'm the parent and he's the child and I'm in power. Why do I need to pull power on him? Okay, cool. So he teaches me. So if your kids trigger you and you suck at this, I suck at this too, okay? I'm not saying that I've got this shit sorted, but I allow them to teach me where I have not worked on myself. Instead of going, it's their problem, they're the problem. They're not the problem. And you're going to have these kids until they're maybe 18 or 17 or however old they leave, right? Hopefully they leave at some point and go off and live their lives, right? And so what can you do in that time? I feel like it's our job to heal, release. And I think somebody told us, Paulina, that it's selfish and we should have mom guilt. And mom guilt is optional. You don't have to do it. It's an option. Do you want to choose that or not? Like, you don't actually have to pick up any guilt. Like, I go off and I work and I do my thing and it's the best thing I do. Putting my kids in childcare was the best thing I could do because I went off and could make money and work and come home and feel fulfilled with my children, as opposed to thinking that my children should fulfill me and that should be the only thing I'm good for. No, like, you're a human, you're a mother, you're a woman, you want to live your life. Other things are going to fulfill you and you get to also be a mom. And so I think we have to question what we were taught. And as you're listening to us right now, maybe you're thinking, what are my beliefs? What are the things that were ingrained into me? Is this serving me? And is this true for me still? And how does this feel when I then go to work? I feel guilty. Like, you don't have to have guilt. That shit is optional. And I refuse to feel guilty about anything. If I make the wrong decision, I apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry. And if they're still mad, cool. But I'm going to take my responsibility because I want them to do that too.
100%. 100%. I love how you broke this down because, like I said, I think a lot of times with moms, it's always something. It's the mom guilt, right? It's the, you don't want to repeat the same, let's just say, mistakes that your parents made or your caregivers made, right? You don't want to put your children through that. Obviously, Erika, you're human. I'm human. Mommy's gonna yell. Mommy might drink some wine tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, mommy's gonna do.
Yeah.
Mommy's gonna do stuff, and but mommy, I feel like as mothers though, like we truly try to show up as the best versions of ourselves. And I truly think that being able to heal in adulthood, like you said, will pour into our children. Like if you want to, like you said, raise confident kids, or you want to raise kids that are confident within themselves, you know what I mean? And they're good people in this crazy world. I truly think like you have to be that example.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like what's really
crazy.
I know. And what's really awesome is the communication. So I remember one of my mentors said to me, talk to your baby. The baby can understand. I'm like, what is this lady on? Like, what do you mean the baby can understand? I mean, the baby can't say shit. She was like, talk to your baby. And now I know, like Dr. Gabor Mate, there's research that if a mother is traumatized in birth, that baby will pick up anxiety. But think about the animals. When they kill the animals badly, the meat that we eat has that hormone, has that energy, has that. So like, oh, duh, makes sense. This baby is in me and I'm stressed out, right? There's the baby that's stressed out when they're born. And when they're 2-3 years old, you're like, why are they so freaking out and anxiety? And not to blame yourself, but to understand the mind-body connection, the energetics, whether you believe in spirit, God, whatever, nothing, atheist, whatever. There's still energetics in your body. There is energy in your body. There is so much that we pass on, and kids can feel all of that. And so I think what's important, hopefully what you're getting from this part of this episode is don't guilt yourself, because if you don't have the coordinates, if you don't have the blueprint in your body, how are you supposed to give that to your child? You can't. So don't blame yourself. Instead, notice, I get angry. I yell and I scream and I throw shit. And I need to really sort that out, because I don't want my kid on the playground. The kid that screams and yells, that they model. They're just little parrots, right? They say what you say, they do what you do. And so fantastic. That shows you I need to work on that. I need to heal that. And I think the number one thing we could do, as soon as you feel comfortable, talk to your kids. Like my kids know about Gio, that he died. My kids know that I was kidnapped. My kids know, they don't know about the sexual abuse yet. I don't know how we're going to do that. But anyway, I don't have to talk about that yet, thankfully, because my 9-year-old is 9. When I was 9, I was doing money orders at the bank. I was advocating for my mom at the hospital. I was not 9. I had already been abused multiple times. I was like 16 when I was 9. So how do I deal with a 9-year-old who's actually 9? My husband always reminds me, babe, he's just a kid. I'm like, what do you mean? He knows better? He's like, he doesn't. And their brains actually aren't developed. But a traumatized woman like me actually thinks that this little 9-year-old that knows how to play Switch and knows how to do the freaking Bluetooth, that he knows better and he's trying to trick me. And my husband's like, he's not. So if you're like me and you have all your trauma and all your things, then you have to start to get the idea that maybe you don't have the blueprint in your body, and that's okay. So now work on finding how to deal with your anger, work on how to deal with your anxiety, work on how to communicate better, because everything you pour into you, now you have all these tools. And you can go, hey, baby, here you go. Merry Christmas. Here are mommy's tools for you. And what a beautiful gift that you could give your kids so they could live a beautiful life and be able to make different choices. And we didn't have it. So we have to collect these gems around our life experience.
100%. Erika, really quickly, you mentioned energy. And because you did, I have to bring up, of course, becoming magnetic.
Oh, yay!
So new book coming out. I'm so excited. When does the book drop? I'm just curious.
So in the United States, May 14, 2025. So ya mismo, like very soon.
Okay.
I know.
Yes. Oh my God, so exciting. So what is in this book that moms and obviously everybody, but we talk to the moms here. What can they get from the book, right? Like how can this specifically benefit moms?
So there is actually a section called Magnetic Parenting And I
Ooh.
know, I was like, we got magnetic parenting in there. So it's basically about how to attract what you desire. And I don't know about you, but I am really tired of the love and light and the fluffy, positive, vague as hell affirmations that you don't believe, and the crystals in your bra and the chanting la la la. And it's like,
Yeah.
mira, that's not it.
Yeah.
So, and blessings to all of y'all who love that. But the reality is, how do you do that? Like, how do you actually manifest? How do you attract? How do you draw things in? How do you have an aura? What is an aura? And so I wanted to create like a process and micro skills. People think charisma is something they have or they don't. People think confidence is something they have or they don't. No, it's a bunch of micro skills. It's warmth, it's body language, it's eye contact, it's smiling, it's head up, it's open, energy. Like, I wanted to break down how women could do it. And so in the book, there's 5 phases of becoming magnetic. And basically, all the 5 phases are like step by step. There's actions. There's a lot of journaling prompts that will 100% make you cry and be very triggering questions that you can ask yourself. And you move through the process of stepping into your magnetism, which is about attracting what you desire and what's meant for you, and repelling. Yes, we are going to repel the things that are not for you. And I love you, but some of us are repelling what we want with the energy we show up with the actions that we take. And I'm like, what if you were repelling the relationship, the money, all the things? And so I'm teaching women in the book how to attract from a powerful space, how to make it feel almost effortless, like things come to you, opportunities come to you, people, synchronicities. And we speak about magnetic parenting, magnetic relationship, like your partnerships, friendship, work, career, business, money, manifesting. And so I broke it down into every area that you could imagine in your life. How does it work? Because I'm very practical and I hate fluff. And so it's a practical roadmap guide on how to actually attract what you desire.
Yay. I love it. So yeah, I'm a big manifesting queen.
Yes.
I swear to God, I'm not even being funny. Like, anything that I've ever wanted, including my own child, I have manifested, because I was like, I want a little girl. I had it all planned out. Me and universe, we talked.
Yeah.
And I mean, God, universe, my ancestors are my big 3, is what I like to say. That's my starting lineup. Right? I'm like, they always got my back. So that's why I'm personally really, really excited to read this book, because as much as, like, yeah, maybe I enjoy, my saging and my crystal here and there, I know it's not enough, because I have been out of alignment, to be completely vulnerable and transparent, for a little bit now. And shit has not been manifesting. I'm gonna be so real with you, as opposed to 5-6 years ago. So I'm working on it. Things are coming back. Yes.
Yep.
They're coming back. But I was out of alignment, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah. But this is why we listen to your podcast, girl, because you keep it real. And this is what magnetically attracts the right women to this show and the right people into your life, and how we've drawn each other in together, because it's the realness. Like, when you're becoming magnetic, you're in alignment. You're in alignment with who you are and what you desire. And magnetism is about connection. Like, you're out and about and you meet someone and you draw them in and they draw you in. And people think it's just your aura, but it's because of all the back end work. It's because of the 5 phases that you move through. And if you don't move through those 5 phases, then you're just chanting bullshit, hoping, wishing, but you're not in alignment. So it's a perfect word, because that's exactly what becoming magnetic is about. It's about how to get back into alignment with who you know yourself to be, how to stand in your values. It's all about healing your shit so that you can let go of the stuff that doesn't serve you and actually be who you came here to be. And then, who is she? Then we define her. That's your alter ego, chapter 7, right? Like, who is that future version of you? Like, how does she look? How does she walk into a room? What kind of opportunities does she have? What does she tell herself? How does she parent her child? How does she show up in motherhood? And we try to grab the future version of us in the now and bring her closer. We reverse engineer how she got there. We do what she does. We get her results in the now. We don't have to wait 5-10 years. And then we talk about aura.
Yes.
And it's really, I'm obsessed with the book. I'm grateful that it's going to be on the USN Day. And I've already shipped you a copy, girl, with some quote cards. I made these little magnetic card deck manifestation cards. And I think you're going to love them, because they're like, they're like real raw manifestation shit. Like, I don't know. Everything I like to do is real. I hate fluffy shit. I hate vague. I hate, just believe in yourself, girl. Just be confident. It's like, how? Tell me the steps, girl.
Okay. Right. Girl, if it was that easy.
I know. I would just be like, just wear a pink hat. No, it's hard. And let me tell you, all of it is hard. But I had an interview recently and a lady was like, oh, this sounds like so much work. And it sounds like I'm already tired thinking about how much work it is. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of work. But you either don't work hard and hate your life. That's an option. Or you work hard, deal with the difficulty, and build a fucking life, money, business, career, body, health, wealth, children that you love, because you got two choices. So it's too much work. I don't want to do it. You're still going to turn 50, God willing. You're still going to turn 80. You're still 20 years is going to come. And will you have what you want at the end of 20 years, or will you be in the same fucking place? And so I'm like, I'm going to work to get it. Like, so it's not easy, but it's worth it, you know?
100%. It's very much choose your hard. Like,
yes,
I'm going to be honest. Me working out, I'm just an example.
Yeah.
It's hard to work out. Like, girl, I have no energy, no time, whatever. I know it's my own thing. I'm starting to make the time because I know I have it.
Yes.
I'm finding the energy. I'm getting in there.
Yeah.
Now, my other hard is if I don't work out, you know, lose a certain amount of weight or whatever. And it's not even that it's like this crazy amount, but like, I just know that my body has been healthier. I've felt better. I've looked better. I understand that. And most importantly, like, my health is what I'm worried about, right? I just want to make sure that like I am like taking care of myself. So either it's hard to get my ass in the gym, and mind you, my gym's in the backyard, so I don't have to travel far. I don't have to go very far. I'm gonna be so real.
So hard.
You know, but then the other side is like, okay, so then remain the way I am, you know, get out of breath when I go down the stairs or up the stairs. You know what I mean? So it's like, which heart are we picking today?
Exactly. And we have to be kind, because if it was, look at this perfect example. If it was not modeled to you, how are you going to get it? So we just talked about parenting and how mothers want to teach their kid about confidence. But if your family didn't teach you to speak up when you went into rooms, if your family didn't say, Mamita, don't eat that because that has a lot, like my kids now, I throw away all their chips. They're like, we love these chips. I'm like, that has fucking palm oil, canola oil, seed oil, sunflower oil. Since when did we know that sunflower oil and seed oil was bad? Like my whole life, all my food was fried in that oil. Like my whole life, that was breakfast. So I'm like, oh my God, my kids are now having avocado oil. How can I teach them if nobody taught me? Maybe somebody didn't teach you about these things? Like nobody taught me what kind of food to eat, and that when I'm emotionally upset, I shouldn't drink a bottle of red wine. Oh, I didn't know that. So how do we learn? Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, the internet. Thank you, TikTok. And now so you have to be kind to yourself as you learn how to do this. And you learning means everything you learn, Paulina, you can pass it down. So how amazing. But like, can we be kind to ourselves while we learn things that were never taught to us? And while we unravel beliefs and conditioning that literally kept us alive as little people, that served us, that no longer serve us, can we be kind to ourselves as we unravel that and let that go and choose something better?
100%. Oh my God, Erika, Queen of Confidence. I'm so grateful for you being here.
Thank you for
I could talk to you all day. But the funny thing is, you're in Australia right now. And what time is it? I'm so curious.
So it is 12 o'clock Thursday. So we're in the future.
How is the future? Is it good? Do we like it there?
It's a sunny, beautiful day. I miss my culture, and I miss rowdiness, and I miss compliments, and I miss people taking up unapologetic space. Like Americans, we are very like that, and here is not like that. So it's kind of cool because I'm different, but I miss it. You know, I miss like the flavor.
Well, you'll be in the US soon. So 2 things that I definitely want to ask before we go. Becoming Magnetic, where does it come out? And obviously, like, when does it come out? I can't even speak. When is it coming out, and where can we get it? Is it on Audible too, or will it just be
So it's on
physical?
Audible, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Books, it's like everywhere. And I know Barnes and Nobles already has it, so that's exciting. Barnes and Nobles and a few independent bookstores that we're going on tour for will have it. So you could pre-order now on Amazon, and you could get it on the 14th of May, because you know how Amazon do.
Yes, I love it. Perfect. Yeah. Oh my God, it's coming up. And then where are you coming to the US? I know you're doing a couple of stops. You're doing a tour. Where can we come see you?
Okay, so I'm coming to the US May 14. Actually, I arrive May 12, which is so exciting. So I'm going to go to Boca Raton, so like South Florida. Then we have a Miami stop, I've got Dallas that I'm going to. We're going to Puerto Rico, a signing in Puerto Rico. I better work on my Spanish, girl. I need to translate ChatGPT. We're going to Chicago, the Windy City. I've never been, and I'm going to meet you, and I'm so excited. If you're in Chicago, please come, because I don't have any Chicago friends except for Paulina. So come and visit us.
We'll get a group out. Don't worry.
Please. And then we've got Boston, and we just got New York. So LA as well. So no big deal. Just like 9 freaking cities. And mothers, I'm coming with my husband and my kids. Okay, so please pray for me. Send me all the prayers.
Of course. Oh my God, you got this, girl. I know you do.
We're gonna do this. I got the melatonin for the flights, so we're gonna be good.
That's amazing. And where can we follow you on social media? Obviously, check you out anywhere you are.
Yes.
Where can we go?
So I'm always on Instagram at the Queen of Confidence, and I love seeing people on Instagram. I've got my YouTube, the Queen of Confidence, and then actually I've been on LinkedIn lately. Watch out for the corporate mamas that are listening. Come and see me on LinkedIn, because that place gets boring. And my podcast, The Confidence Chronicles. So I do there's a lot of motherhood podcasts. I might send you the link. It's just a Spotify playlist that I built for motherhood. So it's just more stuff for us to back ourselves and believe in ourselves. And I just want to say to you, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for your vulnerability, Paulina, because so many that listen are going to feel seen and heard in what you moved through. And so if you like this episode, tag us so that we can see, please.
Yes, please. And thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you're here with us. You are the absolute best. And we can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you. Thank you, my love.